Welcome to another episode of the CHRD podcast, the Child Human Rights Defenders podcast, if you didn't know. I'm your host for today's episode, and my name is Casimiro Sithole, aka Classic Cass, and I'm not rolling alone, but before I say wrong things, I will let this gentleman over here to introduce himself.
No, I guess you are referring to long introductions that we used to have when we were still in high school. That introduction, I used to say that my name is Mr. D.O.P.P.E.R. Don't say it, you'll pronounce it wrong. Because my second name is Dopper, so I wouldn't be comfortable with people pronouncing Dopper wrong. But now we're just simple and straight to the point. I introduced myself as Marigana, Dopper Ramapulana, and that's it.
Marigana. What does that mean?
Marigana, it means a profound leader.
Profound leader.
Yes.
I know, I take it that in the spaces that you are in right now,
Yes.
you are one of those profound leaders.
I don't know. Maybe people who know me can testify or something, but yeah, I don't know. Yes.
And before we go far, right?
Yes.
I heard you saying that you wanted to avoid those long introductions that you used to do when you were still a child.
No. Okay, yes, yeah. When I
A
said
child.
child.
Yes.
Yes.
What impact do you think they had in your upbringing, in you growing up, in terms of things like confidence when you're in front of people doing presentations?
Yes. It's always advisable to have a hook or something interesting that people will remember you as, especially when you're meeting people for the first time. You see, as an activist, as a leader, as a young leader, as a child human rights defender, you need to have a specific hook or a specific character that people will remember you as. You see. So my leadership journey when I was young, learner representative council, being an activist, people always knew that it's Mr. D.O.P.P.E.R. You see, so that created a pathway for me to be recognizable. Besides other different characters that I have, my name actually pretty much stood out, and the introduction made sure that it concreted that standing out. So that's the impact that my name had. Yes.
And now that you've grown up, given that you no longer are using it that much, you want to keep things short, right?
Yes.
Do people now pronounce your name correctly? The way you want it to be pronounced?
They don't.
They still don't.
They don't pronounce my name right. That is why I'm now. Okay, the challenge with my names is that the first name is Marigana, and then the second name is Dopper. Then my surname is Ramapulana,
The chief.
And then growing up or living in Alexandra,
Yes.
to say out of Bavenda Banjo, there's not so many Venda people. And yes, they are there, but it's not so many people, particularly in the activism space,
Yes.
school, Zulu people, Babili, Basotho, they couldn't say Marigana. So the closest they could say was Dopper, or what they want to say, Dopper.
Yes.
But I would want to, it's spelled as D.O.P.P.E.R. It's Dopper to me. I want it to be pronounced like that. You see? So that is why I had to choose to say that, okay, rather, let's say Dopper other than Marigana. But now, going back to your question to say that, do they pronounce my name right?
Yes,
no, they
yes,
don't.
yes.
But the thing is that I'm no longer saying my name is Dopper or anything. I just say that my name is Marigana. And if you can't say Marigana, just call me by my surname. If you can't say my surname, I don't know. I don't think you know me too well for us to be
Calling each other using the surnames.
Yeah.
I think I've got a quote here, of which will lead to the next question that I want to ask you.
No
it still has to do with your name and your journey per se.
Okay.
So it's a quote from our greatest,
Yeah.
I'd say greatest, first black president, right?
Yes.
Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
So the quote goes like this. It says that
Yes.
a good leader can engage in debate frankly and thoroughly, knowing that at the end, he and other side must be closer and thus emerge stronger. You don't have that idea when you are arrogant, superficial, and uninformed. If you heard me properly,
Yes.
in that quote, you talk about things like debate, you talk about honesty, you
Yes.
talk about being able to be closer to other people, you know, talk about having the enthusiasm
Yes.
to emerge as the stronger party out of the two parties which are competing, right?
Yes.
So I want us to go through your journey of debating, because I think Mr. D.O.P.P.E.R here did not mention that he's one of the best debaters in the country that we have. Yeah, I'd say in the country, because we haven't met other debaters, some of us.
Yeah.
So the one that I know, that if right now they were to say, Uri, call someone to debate for you, you know. So the one that I know,
Okay.
So I want you to, you know, give us a brief explanation of how your journey started of debate.
Debating. Okay, my journey as a debater started, let's say, with let me see, was it maybe in 2016? Yes. Yeah, I think it was in 2016. An organization came to school, Relugile High School, called Made in SA South Africa. They took us to a leadership camp in Northwest. The leadership camp happened, and then after the leadership camp, as a continuity program, they introduced ENS Africa to us.
Okay.
ENS Africa to us, then in ENS then introduced to the group that was taken to the leadership camp what is called Moot Court.
Okay.
Moot Court is a high school debating competition that is done throughout the country, and you use constitutional laws to debate. Now, at ENS Africa, there was a gentleman called Mwaku Ramahlodi. Mwaku Ramahlodi is the one that then taught me the first time constitutional literacy. Constitutional literacy is practically the basics of the Constitution. You know, what is the Constitution, the preamble, which is a poetic writing of where South Africa is, where South Africa comes from, where South Africa is, and where South Africa wants to go in the Constitution. He then is the person that introduced me and the rest of the group from Made in SA, South Africa. He introduced us to Chapter 2 of the South African Constitution. Through that, he was preparing us to get to understand what is moot court and how do you use rights and the Constitution in a debate. You see, so that is practically the foundation of my debating. Let me say, debating pathway. After that, the first session I ever had debating.
Yes.
I remember it was in a constitutional literacy training. The gentleman that I'm talking about, Mwaku Ramahlodi, had given us topics to go and write heads of arguments about. Heads of arguments are practically you're given a topic and you write as a proposition or an opposition to that particular topic to debate. You see, so that was the first time I debated firstly, and after that we did moot court competition. Unfortunately, at that point I was still learning, I was still new. I think I only made it to the region only. It was I only made it. I did not even go outside of Alex by that time. You see, the second time I got into debate after the moot court competition was also Made in SA called us to LXFM.
Mm.
We were debating. I was representing my school, Real High School.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the gentleman who's interviewing me right now was representing his school, which is Kwabelanga High School by then. And no, he will inform you of the results.
I know.
That was the second. That was the second consistency in my debating pathway also. And then after that, I think I was in grade 12.
Yes.
Back then, yeah, I think that was 2019. You see, after taking part in Moot Court, I think in 2016, 2017, and then we went in 2019, we did the radio debates. You see, we were debating about social ills in Alexandra.
Yes.
That was in 2019. And then in 2022, I took a long break after 2019 in debate, like informal debates.
Yes.
You see, and then in 2022, I went to a particular higher learning institution in the Free State, and then that is when I learned that they have a debating society within the institution, and then I was like, no, let's take it on.
Yes.
And then 2022, I took so we have campus level debates, and then we have provincial level, and then we have regionals. Our region is Gauteng and Free State.
Okay.
So in 2022, we went to the campus level. I emerged as the top 16 that was going to represent my institution at the what is this? At the provincials. At the provincials, I made the top 16 that was going to represent my region, which is a competition between Gauteng and Free State. At regional level, I made it top 4.
Wow.
I took position 4, and then yeah, coming back, fast forward to this year, which is 2023, the same step, campus level, and then provincial, and then regional. At the regional levels this year, we came in guns blazing, and we took position 1. Yeah.
You know, we're only missing that mixer and the fader will be saying pop, 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 like we're pressing now.
No, we try. Yeah, so that is my long, short pathway of debating. Started in 2016, and then yeah, up to now.
Wow. I mean, it looks like it has been a long journey.
Yeah.
With a lot of good moments.
Yes.
Right? And also there were challenges that you encountered
That's very
throughout your journey. So I've got a lot of questions that I want to ask, right?
Yes.
But I also want us to take it back to, you know, to our community, right? To say that, would you say that debate, because I know that we've got formal and informal debate.
Yes.
Would you say that people out there debate every day? When they're arguing, when they're talking, maybe let's say it's about a certain topic, maybe let's say it's about substance abuse, or teenage pregnancy, and you've got two people that do not agree, you know, but then there's no adjudicator or those people who are there to control people, to monitor. Would you say that people debate every day out there?
Debate is a lifestyle. Debate takes place each and every day, Casimiro. It happens each and every, I don't know the perfect stats, but I can tell you in every household, in every conversation that is happening, there's a single spark of debate that is happening. It's just that, like you're saying, there's formal debate and there's informal debate. But I like to say that, you know, the little informal debates are formal debates. You see, because
the little things that matter.
It's the little things that matter within the debates that make it formal or informal. You see, the minute you think of physicality while having a civil conversation, then it totally makes it an informal debate. You see, and then the act of being able to keep the conversation civilized while still having two different ideas, then that makes it a formal debate. Now, to say that people debate every day, it is indeed true, like you're mentioning it. People debate every day with the most little conversations they might have. We might say that let me bring it back to maybe to children. At school,
Yes.
Two friends at primary school might decide today, Guti, are we eating our lunch boxes, or are we using our small pocket money to buy food? You see, or to say that today after school, are we staying to study, or are we going to soccer practice? You see, that small debate between two friends.
Yes,
it's a mini conversation, but it's a debate. One will say that no, we need to study for our test next week. The other one will say that no, but our test is next week. We still have a day. We still have many days, like a week before. But the other one will come back and say that for us to be able to perform good, we need consistency within. We need consistency within our studying patterns. Thus, we need to stay from today until we write that test, so that there can be good results yielded. But the other one will come back and say that no, this weekend we have a match.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that we appear at practice, so that we understand the tactics that we're going to use at that match. So that is a debate that happens. And what I wish always is that superior logic should reign, and the two friends should be able to decide on a consensus that grounds them to what is best. In that debate, I would want to be the friend that is telling the other that let us go and prepare for the test. You see.
Yeah.
But in a formal debate, then the adjudicators will decide who won the debate due to the facts. Yes.
Maybe taking it to the formal debate also, and compare the two of them, right? In formal debate, I guess that if you bring up points in an example like that, the topic of writing the exams or studying, right?
Yes.
If you bring up the points, it's points of which must be valid. That's one, right? And
Yes.
it's points of which, let's say that it's something that you can be able to prove, I guess. Not something which you are assuming.
Yes.
Because I think I've heard that when people are debating out there, with some topics, you must provide stats, or maybe all topics, you must provide stats, find a way to bring in stats. Whereas in informal debate, you know, it's about stepping your foot on the ground, so that no, I'm saying this because of this. Even if, let's go. Even if there's no stats to back it up, you can imagine a winner. So what are those formats that are there in the formal debate? As you're saying that you've got people like your adjudicator, what are those formats that are there in the formal debate?
Keep the debate format.
Yes, yes, that keep the debate format.
Okay, the formats that keep the debate formal, first of all, it's one, the adjudicators, is that panel of people that are sitting in front of you. And what are those people looking at? One, they are looking at your confidence of the presentation of your case. You see, are you confident enough and convincing enough to everyone? Two, they're looking at your time management. You see, time management, it comes to the third point to say that the points that you have to make sure that you allocate your points the perfect time. Remember, in a formal debate, usually you will have about between maybe 5 to 7 minutes, but most of the time it's about 5 minutes.
Okay.
You see, so in this whole debate structure, you have to make sure that one, your voice projection, your confidence is consistent. It shouldn't come up high and go down. It rather maybe with special circumstances, start low and go high. But the best thing to do, start with the consistency. Start consistent and finish consistent.
Maintain.
You see, maintain. Yes. Secondly, I said that the points that you have, you see, and allocate their time.
Yes.
With statistics,
yes,
they're looking for stats also. That's another point. That's another thing that keeps the debate formal. But I'd like to divert a little bit. You can even bring in statistics in an informal debate. Let's go back to that example that I made.
Exams,
of exams versus soccer.
Yes, yes,
To
yes.
say that if I'm the friend that is saying that let's go play soccer, I'll say that the last time
Yes.
Jabu and Pule missed the training
Mm.
and they were substituted, they made the first team.
Mm.
And then they did this 3 times.
Mm.
Always when they do this and missed the trainings during the week and they are played because they are favorites, it makes us to lose. So the past 3 games we've played, Jabu and Pule missed the trainings, but they got in and we missed those games. Before Jabu and Pule came into our team, before the previous 3 games, we were winning consistently.
Wow.
That is statistics. You see, you are bringing weight.
Yes.
You're saying that
yes.
before this happened,
Yes.
we didn't even lose even 1 game. But after Jabu and Pule came in, we lost in 3 games. You see, so that is kind of statistics. So you have to make sure that you bring in statistics. So what are other aspects
Maybe
that you need to bring in? Yes.
before we continue, need to have a glass of water.
Okay.
And we are back again from the break. We did need to go up there and drink water because some other information. If you don't drink water, you'll end up being dehydrated during the session. So you are still touching on the stats, on the part of saying that in informal debate you can bring in stats as well. And also in formal debate that is very, very important. So you're still on that part.
Okay, yeah. So you were asking me, Witty, what are the things that keep a formal debate formal?
Yes.
I said it's adjudicators. And the fact that they're adjudicators, they're looking at you, that it means that there is something formal. You see, and what are these adjudicators looking from you as a debater? That is what makes it more formal. And remember, okay, so 1, they are looking at the consistency of your voice projection and your confidence, and then you need to be consistent. If you're not consistent, make sure that you start in a certain height and go up. You see, don't ever start high and go down. Rather be just consistent or start a bit low. Not low even. Start consistently and finish with a bang. Secondly, you need to make sure, or thirdly, you need to make sure that you bring in statistics to back up your point.
Yes.
You need to make sure that you bring in statistics. 4, you need to time allocation. You need to allocate your points, from the point that has least power, second point, and then the one that you have, that you know that
your best shot.
Your best shot, you need to put it at last. But at last, you need to make sure that you have more time for your best point. You see, so that you can elaborate more. So those are the things that create the formality in a formal debate, and also more formality is brought in. Again, when it's a formal debate, you might have 2 teams with 3 individuals: the first speaker, second speaker, and the third speaker. You see, and then you have opposition and proposition. You see, so now you are given a topic, and what makes it more formal also is the fact that you are given a topic,
the motion.
You see, what is called a motion in a formal debating platform. You see, so they give you the motion. When they give you the motion, that is more formalities, and they say they choose for you that you are proposing or you are
against.
Opposing. You see, so it's the affirmative side or the opposition side. You see, so now you are given the motion, you go and prepare. That is formality too, because in an informal debate, you don't choose. You're not given a time to go and prepare. You see, so there you're given a time to go and prepare, and those are some of the aspects that make formal debate formal.
It's more of like in a boxing match. It's formal fighting with using your hands, right? And then out there, fighting. Informal. There's no time. There's no round 1, round 2. You get trapped if you're being trapped. And then also I heard you mentioning the proposition, right?
Yes.
And the against, right? I want us to touch a bit on that, to say that what's the best way to deliver a rebuttal if you're rebutting, if you are on the team which is against, ne? Rebutting, what's the best way to deliver a rebuttal?
Okay, so just for our viewers, so now you will have emotion.
Yes.
And maybe emotion that says that give me emotion.
Emotion, tough one, that one. Okay.
Give me an emotion.
An emotion, right?
Yes.
Teenage pregnancy. No, not teenage pregnancy. Substance abuse leads to teenage pregnancy.
Substance abuse leads to teenage pregnancy. Yeah, beautiful emotion. So they'll give you emotion like that, no? And they say that Casimiro, you are proposing, and I'm opposing. And
yes.
you are the affirmative side, I'm the defense.
Yes.
You see. So you are the government, I'm the opposition.
Okay. Okay.
You see?
Okay.
So now what happens is the best way that team opposition can win, and it's two ways.
Okay.
It's to bring a counter argument.
What is that?
And listen properly.
Okay.
A counter argument is what does the motion say?
Substance abuse leads to teenage pregnancy.
A counter argument is an argument that seeks to divert the motion,
okay,
and not focus it on what it is saying. Like rather, like give a divertive motion to say that we as the proposition do not believe that substance abuse leads to teenage pregnancy. Rather, we think that teenage substance abuse leads to break-ins,
okay,
leads to like a number of things, you see. So now you are trying to catch the attention of the adjudicators to take it to somewhere other than what the motion is saying. But be careful not to be off topic.
Okay.
Still talk about substance abuse and teenage pregnancy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And also rather make teenage pregnancy a limiting factor. Like put it as one of the things that can be negligible. You see. Okay, the other one is to just make sure that you listen.
Okay.
Listen. It is most of the time it is not possible for all the three speakers of the proposition side to stand up and speak only facts.
Okay. So some of them are lying.
Some of them, and no, not really lying. Some of them can speak facts, but the facts are not make sure.
They don't have a strong foundation.
So make sure that you listen and listen very carefully, and that is the key to what is this? To defending a case. Listening and making sure that you also understand the motion. Yes.
And then with the other team, because you guys, it's more of like, I take it that the ones that propose have got the advantage. What we call advantage?
No. It's not that. It depends on the motion.
Okay.
It really depends on the motion. Because, okay, tell me this. Now I'll give you a motion to say that you're saying the ones that are opposing are at advantage.
Yes, yes, yes.
Emotion will say that this house believes that South Africa should change its trading currency from dollars to Japanese yen.
So this house believes that South Africa should change
its trading
currency
from dollars to Japanese yen. Who do you think is at an advantage here? The proposition?
No, it wouldn't be the proposition. For the proposition to win this one, you'll have to bring out something serious, something that we've never seen. I think in terms of advantage, like you say,
and also
the other team would have the advantage because of
the opposition.
The opposition.
Okay.
By looking at the dollar and looking at the
Chinese. Is it Chinese what?
Is it yen?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I stand to be corrected. No?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
not sure.
Okay.
But let's use the Chinese currency. That's
right?
practically what you're saying.
That's
yes.
proper. I mean, if you look at the value right now, the value of the two, and looking at the economy, worldwide economy, the opposition will have more power.
Why?
Because of the points that they can make.
Which point?
From that one. I mean, the first one obviously will be checking the currencies to say that dollars are up there, you know. Dollars meaning that if you are using dollars, trading with someone who is not using dollars, whoever is buying from you has to spend more, whereas you have to pay less.
Yes.
It's like right now.
No, but Casimiro, the opposition in this motion is saying no, it shouldn't happen.
Okay, the opposition is saying it shouldn't happen. I'm saying it should happen.
So
proposition is more
still,
power.
it's still more power. No, it doesn't. And also now it brings us to the point that no one has power.
It's neutral.
No one has power between the two. What is this? The two positions. You know who has power? The one with more knowledge. And that is what Nelson Mandela's quote says.
Knowledge.
You see, it's power. Knowledge. Why? Because you are saying that you think the proposition has more power, it has more points in the, what is this? In the motion, given that this House believes that South Africa should move from using the US dollar as its trading currency and move to the Chinese currency. And then knowledge has more power. Why? Yes. I will take it as the opposition. I will say that this shouldn't happen.
Okay.
Why? Because one, many countries are trading most of the countries are trading in US dollars. And we have seen the consequences of countries that have tried to move from trading from the US dollar to other currencies.
Okay.
Their markets usually crash. So it's not advisable to do so. You see. But the proposition can also come and say that South Africa is a member state of BRICS.
Okay. And China is part of that.
And China is part of that. So we should move to the transition. But also you will also come back and say that BRICS countries cannot exist in an isolated environment. You see, we need to also find ourselves enshrined in the trends of the whole world.
And
like a rebuttal can also come from that point and say that, from the proposition, and say that, why would you, let's say that I'm South African, you are Chinese.
Yes.
I'm trying to buy this beautiful t-shirt that you're wearing. And then, now, the USA is not here.
Okay.
They always get a piece of our trade, even when they're not here, because we're using their currency.
Yes.
So that is it. The one who has more power about the topic will always come in with a higher superior logic.
And taking it back to you,
yes,
what are the easiest motions that you've came across? Maybe one or two?
The easiest, okay, with me, I come from a background of constitutional literacy. Even to this day, I still appreciate Mr. Dopper Ramapulana, the person who introduced me to how to interpret and understand the Constitution. I've always used the Constitution as a sense of superior logic.
Okay.
To make sure that I use it against my opponents. You see, especially when I'm within motions that question human rights.
Okay.
You see, and it comes in as a point of kind of stats, because I'm able to quote the Constitution from the top of my head. You see, so it goes back to knowledge is power.
Okay.
You see, so it's not about easy motions, and it's about what I know about the motion that I can use to help my team win the case. So always I find motions that include constitution, the Constitution,
yes,
more appealing to work with.
Okay.
You see, so those are motions. If you say that the age, what is this? Maybe drinking age should be taken
increased, maybe
should be increased to, let's say, 21,
Mm-hmm.
you see, I'm able to come in and say that South Africa currently we define a child as anyone who's under the age of 18.
Yes.
So if we move the drinking age from 18 to 21, it means that now there will be a conflict of interest between the two laws of what is a child and what a child can drink. Are you saying that from now on it means that our children can go and drink? Am I right or am I confusing things?
You're confusing things. I think you said that the age is being increased to 21, so children won't go to drink.
Or won't go to drink. Oh no, let's say it's decreased.
Yeah.
You see? Yes. So things that speak to the law, I can easily interpret
maneuver around them.
And I think that because everything includes right, so
yes,
it's a bit of an advantage to me. Yes.
And because if I wanted to ask about the difficult emotions, and from your responses, it's about the knowledge.
It's about the knowledge. It's all about the knowledge and looking in the knowledge and making sure that you prepare thoroughly. The other thing, you see, what will make emotion difficult? If you have a difficult team to work with. You have this first speaker who introduces the motion and sets the tone for you.
Yes.
You see, you have the second speaker who is the co-debater. You see, this person is supposed to debate all the points of the team, or most of the points of the team.
Yes.
And then you have the third speaker who's supposed to make sure that he wraps up, reflect on what the first speaker of their team said, reflect on what the second speaker of their team said, and add more, elaborate, not necessarily add more points, but elaborate more, give more practical examples of what we were saying.
Yes.
You see, so if there's not that sync, emotion will feel so difficult. You see, because the first speaker, instead of coming in and introducing our defense or our proposition, will come in and start debating. What is the second speaker going to say now? And then when the second speaker comes in, he wraps up. Like he starts reflecting. So my first speaker said that, and I think that as a conclusion, we are at second speaker now. You're not supposed to even be wrapping up. You see, so it's all about making sure that we work as a team, and that will make our motion easy.
And still on that, right? Have you ever lost? And how did defeat feel like? And in terms of your first ever victory as well, how did it feel like?
Yo, I've lost so many times.
So many times?
Yeah, I won't even lie. I've lost so many times, and there are some losses. Okay, when I started, I did not mind to lose, because I had told myself, I want to learn as much as possible.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I open my mind to learning new tactics, how people debate, and how I can infuse this into my style of debating, and all that. So when I started at moot court, like I can tell you, maybe we were 30. Surely I was number 29 in terms of debate.